Hello, hello, hello. Hidden Hermit here. How's it going? Here's a question for you. What is the vibe? What's the vibe? This is going to be a pretty quick one, to be perfectly honest, but let's just get straight into it. So it is the 10th of October 2019. It is a Thursday. It is 5:30 a.m. I'm in the UK, so that's UK time. Do the math and you'll figure out what time it is for you as I'm doing this. The What's the Vibe video series is where I look at a very quick snapshot of the structure of astrology, and then I throw in a little bit of chance just to see where the messages are coming from, and I use the tarot to intuitively figure out some messages for you. So let's get on to it. Let's do this, shall we? Let's make this look pretty, because that's not really my vibe, prettiness, but there you go. Okay, so what is the vibe? So I suppose the big news in the last week or so is Mars entered Libra and Venus entered Scorpio. Venus entering Scorpio, that's a pretty, I was about to say that's quite sick. And I mean sick in the sense that it's, that's awesome, you know. Venus in Scorpio is a very interesting kind of energy. It brings that, that deep feeling of Scorpio with that deep loving feeling of Venus, and it's a very strange mix of energy. So you could very much be finding yourself attracted to things that you're not usually attracted to, or things that perhaps you suppress. And coupled with the Pisces moon, emotions could run very, very deep. You could be feeling very wistful, and I'm honestly just sort of dancing around some of the energies that the Venus in Scorpio brings with a Pisces moon. But yes, I'll let you ponder those energies if you like. What else? Yeah, so I've mentioned the Pisces moon. It's at 6 degrees Pisces at the moment. By the end of the day, it's going to be sort of approaching 10 degrees. The moon is making quite a nice sextile with Uranus at the moment, as well as a nice trine with Mercury, also in Scorpio at the moment. So you've got quite a lot of watery vibes going on there, which is nice. It's good. It also means it might be raining a lot. I say that jokingly, but it is raining a lot. We are 12 days into the moon cycle. The full moon in Aries is coming up in about 3 days' time. That's quite exciting. I do like I like fire moons, fire full moons in general. I think full moons are kind of better for the fire signs, but still, I'm looking ahead. The big news for me, however, in the last week is Jupiter and Neptune. They have been squaring each other since April time. And that's a powerful and profound aspect, if you ask me. So when Jupiter and Neptune in their own signs are squaring each other, then Jupiter's bringing that abundance of higher thinking, but it's rubbing Neptune with its nebulous ways kind of the wrong way. So things were not very clear, not a great deal of clarity out there. What you think might transpire actually sort of kind of misses the mark a little bit. A lot of uncertainty, a lot of nebulous. I mean, they're both gas giants, so a lot of gassy vibes going on there. So that was the big news for me. The fact that their Jupiter is racing away now from a retrograde Neptune. The Jupiter is at 19 degrees Sagittarius, making a lovely aspect with my sun, I'll have to say. But yeah, so Jupiter's racing away now, approaching its ingress into Capricorn, which is going to be all sorts of excitement itself. But that's nice. So we've had that kind of being chained to that nebulosity, that kind of wistful uncertainty, not really being clear about things. We're moving away from that. So perhaps things, it's almost as if the clouds are starting to lift a little bit. And I'm speaking on a global sense, to be honest, which is exciting. I think there's a lot of stuff out there that isn't very clear. So maybe things will start to clear up just a little bit. Who knows? Once Jupiter does enter Capricorn, then things were going to be brought to the surface in a lot of profound ways. Anyway, I think I've chatted enough about that at the moment. Have I really? Mars in Libra, that's also quite interesting. The sun's, we're halfway through Libra season with the sun at 16 degrees Libra, which is cool. You know, it's I think the sun's doing a pretty good job in Libra at the moment. There are aspects to Uranus finally, so Uranus isn't the lone wolf that it has been every now and then. It is an opposition to Venus. So that's bringing, I mean, this Venus in Scorpio is fascinating. In opposition to Uranus, slightly behind Mercury. It's an interesting energy, so be careful out there. Be careful of pondering on your feelings too much. Anyway, okay, let's just crack on with this. So where are the messages coming from? Let's leave this up to a little bit of chance. So, boom. We have a faller, everybody. My brother, who is a big gamer, says if a dice falls on the floor, you let it go. So we'll let that one go, shall we? Let's see where these messages are coming from. So over here I have a Saturn in Capricorn. We've got Taurus up here where Uranus is seated at the moment. We've got Neptune, Aries, Leo, 2 Leos. Nothing's in Leo. We get rid of the nodes because, well, I wouldn't want to say it's too complicated, but yeah, lots of Leos when there's nothing going on with Leo over there in the 11th house. Brilliant. In fact, have we got any messages at all? Got Jupiter, nothing in Aquarius at the moment, I don't think. Yeah, the moon's just moved out of the Aquarius vibe, so, well, this is a bit disappointing, isn't it? We've got Neptune and the moon, both in Pisces. Sun over here in Libra. We've got a 3rd house message, so we've got one message from Jupiter at the moment. That's disappointing. So, this is what I'm going to do. Let's say we've got a message from Jupiter in the 3rd house. So the 3rd house, you know, all those sort of close relationships you have with people could very well be siblings. It could very well be the people in your general environment. So let's do this. 2 messages. One from Neptune and the moon in Pisces. Do you know, it's very rare that you don't get that many messages. I was doing this for myself the other day and I had 6. It was crazy. What was going on there? What are the odds even? But anyway, let's do this, shall we? So 2 messages and 1 overall vibe. I'm using a Verdi, my Dreaming Way Tarot, to respect the Pisces moon. She has been cleansed and shuffled off camera. I'm just doing this because it gives you something to look at. Okay, what is the vibe? What is going on? So it's kind of interesting that we just got these 2 messages. With Jupiter moving away from that square to Neptune, you'd have thought a little more clarity would come through, but well, perhaps this will give clarity. So here we go. I'm going to give an overall vibe feeling to the 10th of October. Let's have a message from Pisces and moon Neptune and the moon in Pisces. And it's important to note that the moon is moving towards Neptune. The moon in the Neptune is also a very interesting vibe, very high priestess vibe. And here we have Jupiter in the 3rd house. So what's the vibe? What's going on? Let's leave that one till last. What is Neptune and the moon trying to tell us? What is that Pisces vibe trying to tell us at the moment? And it's the lovers. Isn't that nice? So there are whoa, okay, well, let's think about this just for a moment. Moon and Neptune in Pisces. So the moon with that higher thought, and it's a waxing moon, so it's a nice healthy waxing moon. Things are becoming more. Neptune with its head in the clouds, but in a good way. You know, it's making a sextile aspect to Saturn in Capricorn. So that's, you know, it's supporting Neptune in a good way. I would suggest Saturn's sort of behind Neptune, going, yep, you're doing a good job. And we've got the lovers here. So you're thinking about all those people in your life where you're on a very good level with. So, you know, it could be your partner. It could very well be your partner. It could also be the people you work with, people you get on well with. Anybody who forms a partnership with you in a good, harmonious manner. Now, I can't help thinking that, you know, the lovers have come up in this. We've also got the moon is making a sextile with, a trine with Mercury. Once Venus sort of skirts around another degree, the moon is going to make that aspect with Venus, you can't help but think that perhaps this has got something to do with love vibes. And not in a particularly great way either. This kind of uncertainty, this higher thought, this everything that's above your conscious mind. So you're thinking about your subconscious and these aspects that are in a Pisces vibe as well. So you're thinking about, you know, what happens to you or when you're asleep, that sort of thing. With the Lovers, interesting. I'm getting this vibe that perhaps we should be careful about how we share our feelings with other people. Not suggesting that you should be guarded in any way, but you know, you should perhaps be very aware of what is pouring out of you at the moment. That's a fascinating aspect, one I could talk about a little bit longer, but this video is getting long enough. So the Lovers from Neptune in Pisces, Neptune and the Moon in Pisces, very high priestessy as well. That's interesting. Okay. Ooh, I could talk about that forever. No, not quite forever. I've got things to do. Jupiter in the third house. What's Jupiter trying to tell us? We've got the Two of Cups. Look at this. This is crazy. So this emotions, love, attraction, it's all coming out. It's all coming out at the moment. I've got this feeling that, you know, it is going to be pouring out in a very profound way. The Two of Cups is, of course, the love card, coupled with the Lovers. A lot of twos, a lot of duality. That's crazy, isn't it? That is crazy. So yeah, I just think that emotions will be sort of bubbling up in a very deep sense. The fact that I focused on Venus and Scorpio is also very, very interesting. The vibe is lovey. What's the overall sense of the chart and the tarot? It's the High Priestess. Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. What a crazy, crazy spread. So what can we think about this? That's me knocking my light, as you can see there. A bit of special effects for you. So yeah, the High Priestess is, and what I would suggest is the ruler of this little reading. High Priestess is, of course, the moon in traditional tarot. But if you go with the Hidden Hermit's interpretation, which I'm going to be pushing more and more as time goes on, I think the High Priestess really does embody a Pisces vibe. The moon is in Pisces, approaching Neptune. The Lovers came out with that vibe, and we've got the Two of Cups here, a sense of abundance, that love vibe from Jupiter in Sagittarius. Well, and behind it all, we got Venus in Scorpio. I would suggest, yeah, you're going to have to think about all, you know, there's a very wistful vibe to this as well. Very wistful. You might be feeling somewhat nostalgic. You're going to be looking back to past loves a little bit. You're going to be thinking about all those missed chances, all those vibes that you may have missed out on, or you feel you're missing out on. That's that Neptune aspect, I reckon. But the High Priestess, I think, you know, she's come out as the ruler of the whole thing. She's holding it all up in a good way, I would suggest. This is a crazy, crazy spread. It really is. As I said, I need to do stuff. I need to go, but I could talk about this so much. I think an air of caution is needed, to be quite honest. You may be missing people as well. Maybe you're that sort of, yeah, it's kind of wistful, thinking back on the past, but love is in the air, absolutely, and in an abundant way. Also, the fact that Jupiter is in Sagittarius, that idea of higher learning, and the High Priestess, that idea of subconscious or even super conscious thought as well. There's going to be a lot of this flying around. Oh, this is cracking. Do you know what? I'm almost tempted not to post this because it's very, very powerful. But so that's the vibe. What's the vibe? It's kind of nice and loving. So enjoy yourselves out there. That's what my suggestion. Enjoy yourself, but don't get lost in this nebulous feeling. Moon, Neptune, High Priestess. Yeah. Amazing. Okay, well, on that note, on that very crazy feeling note, I'm going to leave you. On a personal note, I'm off to the UK Tarot Conference, which I'm very excited about. So I'll be back from that in a few days with lots of higher learning, I would hope. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching. I'm the Hidden Hermit, and that is the vibe.